Hello and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin mining stocks and indicators. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different. We aren't going to run through the whole list of 12 or so mining stocks, go through all the technical analysis, but I did want to take a look at some of the top ones and do comparisons to the last couple cycles and see when did these Bitcoin mining stocks truly start to run. Will that give us any sort of an indication of when they may run this time around? So starting off in fear and greed, because these are stocks after all, we are up in greed on CNN and on Pi Vesting, still up high in greed near extreme greed. Now, even though they are stocks, they do act a lot like altcoins as far as when they pump. You can see Bitcoin or crypto overall been staying up in extreme greed. We did have a little bit of a spike, so I want to see greed stay up here for longer. If this is truly going to be an alt season soon and big money to be made soon, but if this starts to continue to go down, lower highs, lower lows, then maybe we were having another local top. So just something to keep an eye out for on fear and greed. Of course, when we're talking about altcoins, mining stocks, pay attention to Bitcoin dominance. And when Bitcoin dominance starts to go down a lot, you can see a rotation from the money that's in Bitcoin into your mining stocks. Going over to the alt season index and look at this giant spike. Now this is on the smallest time frame. If we zoom out to the yearly, this is what I'm looking at, and this is the highest it's been this cycle. So we've been waiting for this to spike. It hasn't gotten up to altcoin year yet. Last cycle we had 3 spikes. This data only goes back so far to 2018. I don't know how many spikes there would have been in 2017, but maybe we get 1 spike, maybe we get 2, 3, 4, I don't know. But that is something to look for, that now we've been in this uptrend and it is making, as far as this cycle, the newest high so far. So that is a good thing. We have greed, extreme greed in the crypto market, so do be cautious. If you are buying in and you're a new viewer right now, do know you're buying at a premium and you're taking an extra risk. So just be careful with that. Of course, subscribe if you want to hear more about the rainbow chart crypto cycles. We've been talking about a lot of things. Some of those things come true and some of those things have not. That's the state of predictions. But on this channel, I like to say strategy means a lot more than predictions, and having a strategy that makes you money, whether or not you are right about the future and what's going on. So if we take a look at Bitcoin, because it is at an all-time high price, we take our fib off log. And if you see what I'm doing there, I drew Fibonacci from the high to the low, took it off log. It's almost to the 1618. Still very much ripping up. And we can just add on one of our buy-sell signal guys here. Let's go over to the daily, see what's going on. Daily seems to be getting support on the 20-day moving average and has a daily buy signal. And right now it's staying at this trend line. The trend line it's on is the double top trend line from 2021. Those 2 tops it made. So it is staying at the trend line. The 1618 is at around 102K. So this is going to be key. We've been wondering what is going to happen up here when this hits. Is it going to then blast off into the cycle high, or might we get a little bit of a short correction before going up? Something I've been warning people about, where is it? Here it is that oftentimes this is just the average of prior market cycles, that there tends to be a 6-month correction at the inauguration. So my thesis is if Bitcoin only gets up to 100-ish K around the end of this year, early next year, and then we have sideways down, some people might be saying, well, that was the top. Again, we got to be looking for Bitcoin dominance to tank down to these low mid 40 percentiles. It is going down, okay, but last couple cycles, even after it started going down, it did form a base, double top, and then go down. Last 2017 cycle, even when it came down, formed a base, came up, and then down. So right now, I'm looking for a possibility of a base somewhere in this range to go up and then down. So we'll see. It doesn't mean it has to. It could just go down from there. So let's get into the Bitcoin mining stocks and we'll take a look at, again, compared to the last cycles. Maybe I'll reference the rainbow chart here. We'll reference when were those mining stocks topping. So let's go over first to Mara. We always start off with Mara. Right now, it has a market cap of 8.13 billion. I want to make sure this is up to date. Hopefully it is. It says it's at 25 bucks. So let's make sure we go to Mara and just double check it, make sure it's all good. It's always good to double check your work. Some of you guys see me make mistakes here. So yeah, we're at 25 bucks, 8 billion. So it's up to date. Very good. Right now, I'll just give you the TA as far as right now. You can see that there's been this trend line and Mara's wanting to break above it, which is great. And it has a candle close on the weekly above the 618. That is great as well. But you can see it has done that once before, sort of a fake out, but it was forming this trend line here. Now, could this be a fake out? Sure. But if it starts to stay above this 618 or use the 618 as support, next level is 786 at $41. Now, when did Marathon truly start to go last time? You can see here, November 2020 into December, okay? And right here, when it peaked, that was about April. So November of 2020. Well, I already know what was happening at November 2020. So this is December, November. And what was happening here is Bitcoin was just getting above the all-time highs in 2017. And that was truly the beginning of the end as it was getting above those areas. And then alt season was in here and it topped somewhere around 65K in April, May, sometime in there. Now, Bitcoin has been making new all-time highs, getting into new all-time high areas. So when this started, this did take about half a year. Yeah, about half a year. So if a similar move like that has started, okay, from November, cool, we have the same amount of months lined up. Maybe, again, this is just comparing fractals and timescales. That's not a good enough way to look for price predictions, in my opinion. I rather look at the Fibonacci scale off log. Okay, we have price predictions, and we can see here are some price targets. If things get really bullish and we break former all-time highs, 1618 around $1.33, 2618 about 213. Do keep in mind when Mara topped last time, it had a market cap I think around 25 billion. So if it is forming a new higher market cap, I'd be looking at something around in the range of 30 to 50 billion. But again, depends on the timing of Bitcoin dominance. I'm going to be taking a look at seeing if Bitcoin's getting into one of these orange zones, then I'm really going to be taking a look at profit taking. Going back to 2017, okay, you can see the chart's not looking so great back here. So where was it in December 2017? It did peak here, but that only lasted about a month. So you can see 1 month, Mara went from about $6 to 40, hit the 200 at resistance, but it's still pretty good, 7x. But here, way bigger. It went from $2 to 80, so 40x. What's it going to do this time? I don't know, but set your price targets. And right now, I would say if we do have an early top, 4-year cycle going from this peak, then maybe that lines up. So let's go over to the next one, and that is Core Scientific. Again, we're not going to go through all of them. We're just doing a time comparison here. So Core Scientific wasn't around last cycle, okay? But it is the second highest by market cap, 4.72 billion. So do be careful of new IPOs, new altcoins, all that stuff. You don't have as much of a competitive advantage. The competitive advantage you get is research. But if you really love all the research you do, and let me tell you, all the pro crypto articles out there, they will promise you everything. Sunshine, rainbows, ponies, unicorns, all that. If you really love it, you can try to be patient, wait for the 20 moving average, but highest market cap, short lifespan. I've seen these things rug pulled quite hard, so just be careful. As far as market cap, or how high it could go. Again, if we're looking around that $30 billion mark, that'd be somewhere like a 6x. So a 6x for cores, you could do the math there. It'd be something around 90 to 100, I believe. So next, let's go to CleanSpark. That one's been around for a little bit. CLSK. And where is CleanSpark at? So CleanSpark, right now it's at around 14, 15 bucks, $3.73 billion. All right, let's take a look at 2021. 2021, it peaked in January, February. It had an early peak, and November was right here, but it was already running hard from a year earlier. So did take about a year to go up, had some sideways action. The true top was back here. Now, have we seen something similar? Well, it has already been running up for a while. Some sideways action, downward action to this trend line support. Not as big of an explosive move this time around. So maybe CleanSpark is only going to, who knows, maybe it's only going to kind of grind up instead of exploding. 1 second. And so if we take a look at some of the fib extensions, if it is going to make an all-time high, we'd be taking a look at that $67 mark at the 1618 or the 2618. So here, it's a pretty quick move. Again, it kind of starts from May, June. It took about 9 months to a year to get up there. And really the last move, again, was from that November time. So November time, right now, for a lot of crypto, it's looking pretty bullish. Did just kind of go sideways in there, though. So we'll see. This one I don't think is as overvalued. It's holding supports. It isn't ripped up super hard quite yet. So if you really like CleanSpark, not the worst time to DCA in, but do manage your expectations as far as how high it can go. People talk about crypto giving you 100x's, this and that. Again, for some of these, we're hoping for a 5x to a 10x, but that these are safer than some of your meme coins and things such as that. Let's go to Riot. We'll just do a couple more. So Riot platforms. All right. Riot right now, sadly it got rejected from this channel. It is coming back down. If you bought some Riot right now, I wouldn't blame you, okay? So the 200 week moving average, it's right around there, and the 382 fib. So I don't hate Riot here, but it's yet to break out of that channel. If it does, you have the 0.5 and the 618, $23, $16. And right here, I'd say around this $11 range, ain't the worst. But Riot, something that's been curious is last couple cycles, you can see September to the peak in December. That was about 4 months, and it went from $4 to 44. So 10, 11x, great. And that was 2017. 2021, you can see this move, at least when it started, was all the way from March. But I would look at more when it's forming a base here on these larger moving averages. And this was around $3 in September. And so that was about, 6 months, give or take. That topped in February. Yeah, that's about 6 months. So 6 months to really pump. Now these trend lines, just to see where they connect, again, nothing really over there. But if Riot was to get up there, I've looked at this and be like, wow, that'd be crazy. Somewhere around the 160s. Again, I don't know if it's really going to do a 10x from here, but I've been in the last 2 alt seasons. I've seen far crazier things. So Riot, if it was making a new all-time high, the 1618 around 126, I'm telling you, I have some Riot. If it got to this level or higher, I would be selling there. I don't care if it's 170, 130. If it's near this trend line, I'm taking profits, or at least sending some sell orders. So just something to keep in mind. And as far as time scale, if it is just going to pump up for 6 months, and that started from here, look at that, the date at the bottom, September. You can see that right there. So might Riot, if all things are being equal, top somewhere in February. Again, it's something to look out for. And as a market psychologist or as someone who works in this field, let me tell you, correlation does not equal causation. Now, sometimes there's patterns, they emerge in the market, and they trick a lot of people. You've seen this on YouTube into saying, well, it happened this way before, it's going to happen this way again. Again, we're just drawing these comparisons. Nothing says it has to, but it's just a fun thing to think about. And if that does happen, and we see this pattern emerge, then at the very least you have a sign of, well, this is a good time to take profits. So that's all it's here for. This is just entertainment. We're just sort of shooting the shit, so to say. But as far as banking off of, well, it did this before, it's going to do that again February top, please don't just go off of that. Do have other strategies, whether indicators, sell signals, whatever, as far as when to look at if something's overvalued and you're looking to take profit. Again, we talk about Bitcoin dominance, talk about price targets, we talk about being extended up here. So if crypto is doing that, okay, then you feel better about taking profits. And let's finish off with TeraWulf. I know there's some Wolf fans in the comments. So again, I hope you guys appreciate this video. Want to do something different and just take a look at this through new lens. So TeraWulf, man, this thing was garbage in the 2017 cycle. It topped in 2014. Okay, whatever. But as far as last cycle, you can see it was a 2021 coin. Now, the first thing that pops into my head, and I have to say this, is what has been pumping as far as altcoins recently? 2017 altcoins. So if 2021 altcoins or miners don't perform as well, do be prepared for that. We have stuff like Tron XRP running again. Still waiting on other coins like Monero, XMR, and all those. But a lot of 2017s have been running. We'll see how the 2021 coins and miners do by the end of this. But anyways, we have this one data point, okay? Topped in November. Okay, so this one was a little different. It topped in the second peak. So if there is any sort of a double peak, hey, maybe that's something to look for. But at least as far as when it started, I mean, this one had two pops. It had a pop from October 2020. Remember that December area, that local high? So that was about 2 months there. And then here from June to, that one just took a month, but really June to November, about 6 months. So we had like a 2-month pop and a 6-month pop. All right. Now this thing's already popped a couple times, at least from the very bottom, March to July. Okay, so a few months there. And then this has been slowly grinding up. So I am hoping this does make a new high if we were to draw a trend line just from these peaks. Let's see if there's any sort of fib markings here. If we were to draw a trend line and say, okay, maybe Wolf only tops somewhere around $54. Great. Now, right now, you can see Wolf, it's stuck at the 618, has to take the 618, otherwise it could come down here, the 200 week, and the 0.5 could get some Wolf at a discounted value. The new discounted value is $5 or less. But let's say we're just looking bullishly right here, okay? If Wolf were to get up to that trend line, you can see it's not even to the 1618, but if you were targeting the 1618, you're looking for a 10x, it's there around $70, okay? And the market cap around 3 billion. So that would be around 30 billion. Again, for mid or lower market cap mining stock, I'd say that's fair. I would definitely be looking at taking profits. This is me, not you, in these areas. Nothing I say here is financial advice, but in these areas. And if you want to hold on to a little, a certain percent, see if it goes higher, sure. But if it starts to come back down, then maybe be prepared to take profits here before it truly tanks, because as you can see, it tanks faster and then it goes up. And that's all coins. You have to be ready to sell because and take profits, because we don't stay up in these peaks for long. I know all the news is great right now, all the great news about all the utility and things all these crypto projects are going to have. Guys, I've heard it all before, here and here. So do be careful. If you believe in it, you want to hold through another down market, 4 years, great. But if not, if you are willing to sell, like I have, you can buy back in down here and buy back in down here. There's nothing wrong with that either. So Wolf, as far as timing goes, is this one going to be a later topper? I don't know. This one's more different than the other ones. I think we saw more correlation with, what was it, CleanSpark and Mara or Riot, but Wolf not as much. So just be mindful of that. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you think about miners. Are you getting frustrated with them? Are you wondering, hey, when are these damn things going to pop off? I'm wondering that too. But again, have price targets. Everything moves at its own different pace. So I know it can be hard to see stuff like XRP and all that stuff really rip up while the miners haven't quite yet. But again, if you're buying something, you have to believe in it. If you're buying it here, then you should love buying it here. So do have some patience. We'll see how high these things can get. I like the miners because I think they were the safest, one of the safest plays in crypto as far as multiples. So not ones that would necessarily explode 20x, but maybe be more safer 10x's by dollar cost averaging in at the lower values. So I rather use my money like that than put it in the Solana or Tron casinos. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.